You were here when you were there when this became a rivalry. You had a huge part in making it be a rivalry and then also making it be not so much a rivalry and lopsided in Seattle's direction. How do you feel about it being kind of a rivalry again?
I don't worry about it because I mean, in this division, every game's a rivalry. You play the team so often. You play every team twice, so you get really accustomed to playing teams. So you could say there's a rivalry with the Rams. We just had a tough game with Arizona. You could say that's a rivalry. We hadn't beat them, and I don't know. They said since 2014. Every game in this division is rivalry, so it's fun.
I talked to Joe Staley, and one of the last really meaningful games as far as implications for postseason and whatnot was the 2014 Thanksgiving Day game. I wanted to ask what you remembered about that, particularly maybe your post game meal.
I remember I dropped the pick I should have had because that would have been my first three-pick game. So I was upset about that. And then I got player of the game, and they let us eat turkey.
Well, Joe said it probably pissed him off more than the actual score was seeing you out there chomping in that turkey leg.
Well, maybe that was the problem that year. Maybe the score should have pissed you off, and I would have been eating turkey leg on the field. Yeah, because if we would have lost, they would have been eating turkey on the field. It's just one of them things.
Do you, how do you think Russell is playing? And I mean, he's talked about as the MVP. When you look at him on film, does he look like an MVP of the league?
I mean, he's making great throws. His receivers are catching. Him and Lockett have a great connection. They're doing a hell of a job. They've been efficient. They've won some close games. They've battled through, and he's been a big reason.
Have they changed their offensive, strategy than in past years when they were more run-oriented? And do you see them, or are they passing more out of necessity?
I think they're passing more out of necessity. I think they're still run-first ball club, if you ask Pete. That's always going to be their identity, run the ball, and then play action, et cetera, et cetera. But he's passing very efficiently, so you got to play till it works. Obviously, anytime the play breaks down, backyard football, he's going to do a great job. And I think the receivers that they got are very well versed at what he likes to do, especially little Noe. Noe has got a great feel of where to go and where he's looking.
Is Lockett lining up mostly at the slot, and is that going to fall a big assignment for K1?
He lines up at both. He lines up outside and in the slot. It depends on the situations, but I'm sure he'll line up in front of just about everybody. In front of K, and K will do what he does. He'll line up in front of me. He'll line up in front of E. It'll be a great challenge for us, and we're excited.
How's Lockett's game evolved since he first?
Well, it's just evolved because Doug has left. So he's went from being the number 2 option to the main option, and obviously that's going to change the amount of balls he gets, the amount of targets, and he's taking advantage of it. He's made some great catches, made some great plays, been dynamic after the catch. He's done everything he's been doing. He's just done it with more opportunities.
How do you prepare and practice for a quarterback that does so much off-schedule stuff?
You let the scout team quarterback run around a little bit. The receivers will run around a little bit. It's just backyard football. It's no like crazy. Oh man, you got to run this route and then run to this spot. It's just guys running and hoping they're open and hoping the pass rush doesn't get there.
Who is that scout team quarterback? Who's got the
They switched up back and forth, but look, CJ strained his back doing it yesterday, so it was Nick today. But y'all can talk to CJ about that. That was pretty funny. Well, it's not funny because he hurt himself, but it's like that's not your game.
2 years ago, when you were over there, did you ever think you would be over here, not only being a team leader but a captain?
I'm a ball player, so I expect any place I play, I expect to do my best to help my team win, and if that's taking on a leadership role or just shutting up and being in the quarter, that's really not my cup of tea. But if that's what it takes, I'll do it. So if I saw myself here, I saw myself with whatever team. I know the business of football is a business, and it's not forever. So I could have been at home, out for the year, or I could have been, with this team or with another team. You never know how the cookie crumbles in football, so you take it as it goes.
You're good at motivating yourself and others. You seem legitimately ticked off after the game Thursday, but is some of that like, hey, this is a good opportunity to send a message to everyone that we need to be humble or whatever? I mean, is there...
There's some of that, but that was legitimately just not up to our standard of football at the end of the day, and I think just about everybody who was on our defense would say it. If it's a difference between you getting beat while executing and you not executing, so you're getting beat. And that was the problem in that game. We were getting beat because we weren't executing. It wasn't like, oh man, that was a great scheme, that was a great play. They draw it up, they beat us. You know, we executed our scheme, they out-schemed us. If that happens, you tip your cap. You say, hey, you know, we got to find a better scheme. But when you're not executing a scheme that you play and you're getting beat, then you leave yourself vulnerable. Then you have something to coach up. Then you have right to be frustrated. And that's myself. You know, at the end of the day, it starts with leadership. So it starts with yourself. You know, every person got to look at themselves in the mirror individually and work harder and get those things corrected. So I was legitimately upset because it just wasn't to our standard of play.
You've faced the Seahawks a couple times by now. At this point, is it just another game for you personally, or will there always be something a little more to this?
No, it's another game. It's a division game, so it's definitely more meaningful in that respect because division games you gotta win if you want to make the playoffs and have a home game. You got to win your division. So it's definitely meaningful in that respect. But to me, that's about it. Sorry.
Shaq Griffin is a guy who gives you a lot of credit for helping him through. Do you keep tabs on guys like that who you've been with, and what kind of growth have you seen from him?
I've seen tremendous growth. You know, he's having a pretty good year. You know, just getting his hands on footballs, just being tight coverage, and you know, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for all guys that come through our system and do well. There's probably like 4 or 5 corners that I've been around that are playing for other teams. Coleman out in Detroit, who's doing a great job. Shaq, well, Shed was in the league, but he's not in the league right now. He needs to get picked up. But yeah, you're always proud of the guys that you've worked with. You know, just like Kello here, freaking E-Man here. You know, you guys you worked with, you put the time in with, and you know they work hard, and you appreciate their work ethic. You appreciate seeing them succeed.
Like your own little coaching tree kind of thing?
Right. This is my player coaching tree.
Add to their offense?
Say that one more time.
Josh Gordon, what does he add to their offense?
Well, Josh Gordon is Josh Gordon, so he's going to add what Josh Gordon does to any offense. He's a dynamic playmaker. He does a great job with the ball in his hands. He's a great big body receiver who goes up and gets the ball, great set of hands. Yeah.
Richard, Robert Sala was just here talking like saying 10 times about championship opportunities and championship games, and every game is championship week. And it sounds a little bit like Pete Carroll. I think you mentioned the same thing. But are there like tenets, or you know, he's also obviously former defensive back coach, either on field or just philosophies that Carroll imparted on you that have stuck with you?
Oh, I'm sure there are tons. I'm sure just the genuine. There's stuff that Gus Bradley's imparted on me that I still, you know, the genuine appreciation for your teammates and everybody's contribution. There's stuff Dan Quinn has imparted on me, Chris Richard. So that you take things throughout your journey and throughout your playing career that you feel stick, that you feel are effective. And Pete's philosophy, there's tons of things that are great about his philosophy and how he approaches things and how he talks to his players and about the game and about making sure every opportunity is meaningful and you treat it as such.
You mentioned obviously the importance of divisional games here, but what would it mean for this team to distance themselves even further from Seattle, 2.5 games and potentially 3? For another.
Well, it's like I said, winning division is your first goal. So it means a lot. It means a lot in terms of our chances to win the division. Obviously, until we clinch it and get to the playoffs and all that, then it's all meaningless. But it'll mean something. Because, you know, our first goal is to win the division, and I think Kyle would agree and Salah would agree, and that this game goes a long way towards that.
When Emmanuel was, I think got Emmanuel here, you know, John Lynch said he's so tough, and Kyle has talked about he's so tough, and he's like 180 pounds. So he's not like your classically tough guy wide receiver, he doesn't seem like, but do you know what they're talking about? Like, what is it about his game that kind of, you know?
I mean, it's just that. He's rugged. He's a rugged player. He's not a player who's going to sit out a game. He's not a player who's going to take a hit, and he's going to take a hit and keep ticking. I think that's a compliment. He's 180 pounds of I can't say the curse words that you need to say to describe him. Sure I can, but, you know, this kid's watching. Hey, keep it PG. But just like Trent Taylor, you know, I think people would say the same thing about Trent Taylor, a guy who just goes to work, rugged, just take a hit, go through it, you know, get the dirty, nitty-gritty yards. I think the same can be said about Emmanuel. He'll go in the middle, he'll go across, he'll go deep, he'll go outside, he'll go inside. And I don't think that's how every receiver's kind of built. You know, 180 pounds going across the middle, with no fear is not the way you always see it drawn up. Now, if you're 240, there's 230-pound receivers who won't go across the middle. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's about the weight or the size. I think it's about the dog in him, and he has a huge dog.
All right, guys?
Thank you.
Thanks for.
Thank you.